can't get it today, we're gonna have to move on without our greenback cutthroat from this trip.
Guys, there's fish in here. Oh, that was awesome.
New day, new cutthroat. I'm not playing up to my A game, to be honest. I'm really hoping they can eat.
No way! No way!
That was brutal. Welcome back. I am currently sitting adjacent to one of my childhood streams. This is actually the creek in which I learned to fly fish on. And it also happens to hold the next cutthroat on our list, Bonneville cutthroat. I lived in Utah for 4 years before I moved to North Idaho. I absolutely loved every second of it. And this creek was about a mile behind my house. Actually, lower parts of it ran behind my house. So when I was learning how to fly fish, I'd run back here with a big bushy dry fly, catching little Bonneville cutthroat, and had an absolute blast. It's kind of the foundation of what I do now. But I thought it was only fitting to return back to this creek since I was driving this way, and this be the spot where I catch Bonneville cutthroat. Well, things don't often stay the same, but I do remember this place being pretty easy to get a bite, so I'm hoping it doesn't take us too long. Oh, I got him! I got him! Oh, it's our first bycatch. Looks like a little cut bow. Heck yeah, that was cool though. Well, it's our first bycatch of the trip, kind of. It's half of what we want. Really pretty little cut bow. Woo. There you go. So Bonneville cutthroat are really neat because they're a super ancient subspecies of cutthroat. They evolved in distinct lineage with Lake Bonneville when that existed about 1.74 million years ago. They're one of my favorite cutthroat. They're the state fish of Utah. And I mean, I have a special place in my heart growing up catching them, but I also think they're just incredible cutthroat.
There we go. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got?
Oh, it's another rainbow. Rats. Pretty fish with a little bit of cutthroat in it, but not a very pure Bonneville. Cool fish.
That looks better.
No! Come on! Come on. Yeah! Oh my goodness! There we go! He's got a Bonneville cutthroat. That's 2 fish. 4 fish total for the trip. It's a nice one, too. Look at that fish. Woo! Look at that. That is a gorgeous fish. Well, we got our Bonneville. It's starting to get really windy. As soon as I released the fish, the trees started moving around like crazy, but I'm thinking of calling it. I got a long road trip tomorrow. I got another species I want to knock off tomorrow. As much as I'd love to stay here and catch a bunch of fish, I think there will be some other times for us to really focus on catching a bunch. But I kind of want to go drive around, just enjoy a really pretty evening, and soak up the fact that we got a Bear Lake cutthroat and a Bonneville cutthroat today. Well, welcome back. Now, you might be saying to yourself, Braden, shouldn't you have already been out fishing today? Midday, you haven't been fishing at all, and you still have 6 subspecies of cutthroat left to catch. And that, dear viewer, I say, is correct. I should have been out fishing today earlier. Today has been a terribly long day from start till about now. I woke up at about 5:30 a.m. this morning, camping just a little north of where I caught my Bonneville cutthroat yesterday. And I planned on driving 2 hours east up towards where I wanted to catch and target my Colorado cutthroat. But on my way up a steep grade at about 6:30 in the morning, my truck started to shake violently and my service engine soon light started to blink very violently too. This was just the start of my issues. I was stuck in the middle of nowhere, and with my fingers crossed, I drove over 95 miles to a little town I had no plans of originally going to, where a mechanic at an auto body shop very graciously carved some time out of his day to help me with as many of the issues as he could. And with that, I had to drive to the nearest auto zone to try and fix the rest of my problems. It was about 95 degrees, and I spent the next 3 hours digging around in my truck, trying to fix the issue, which I eventually did. I was in a new area with a truck that finally worked well again, with new hopes, but I also had no idea where to go to catch my Colorado cutthroat. With that, I found the closest stream that supposedly has Colorado River cutthroat in the Uintas, north of where I stopped to solve my issues with my truck. There's even a sign that says they're in here. Colorado River cutthroat trout. They're here. But before that, I've been working in a parking lot in the 90-degree heat for the last 3 days straight. I feel dirty. I am dirty. It's hard to stay clean on the road, so I'm gonna take a quick shower. It's windy, but this might be the most excited I've been this entire trip to fish a creek. This place looks awesome. There we go.
Oh no!
More bycatch. Well, not exactly what we were after, but our first brook trout of the trip. Really pretty one, actually. There's a lot of them here in the Uintas. I used to backpack here all the time as a kid, and all these creeks are littered with brook trout. That looks like a cutthroat.
It is a cutthroat! Oh, it's the first!
Colorado River cutthroat. We got one. Oh my goodness. Yes. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is cutthroat number 5. Given everything that's happened these last few days, this has been awesome and it's far exceeding my expectations. Good thing they're not hard to catch, but man, I love Colorado River cutthroat. They just have some of the most vibrant colors I've ever seen. I'm hoping to catch a few more tonight. I'm super happy we got fish number 5.
That was awesome. Oh, it's another beautiful, beautiful little cutthroat.
Oh, wow. That was sweet. Just came up and sipped it super slow. Jeez, these fish are gorgeous. Wow. I think one of the coolest things about this trip, and also one of the hardest things about this trip, is the fact that a lot of these places, there's a good chance I'll never come back to again in my entire life. Now, on one hand, it's awesome being able to get out here and experience a bunch of places that, you really have to live in that part of the country to enjoy as frequently. But on the other hand, it's like, man, I wish I could spend a week plus in every spot I stop. But we have a goal, we're trying to complete it. It's the hard part about it, but man, I could spend weeks just on this stream here alone. I absolutely love these big open valleys up here in the Uintas. They're absolutely gorgeous. It's just like walking on a manicured grass lawn, but there's cutthroat and little streams right next to it. Tons of flowers, tons of birds, and a good amount of fish. So there's really nothing to complain about. Today has really made up so far for a really long and strenuous morning.
On my way out, I spotted a narrow ditch running alongside the road. It didn't look like much, but before I left, I had to make a few casts.
No way! No way! Guys, there's fish in here.
Oh my goodness, can you guys believe that? I drove up the road a little bit and I was like, saw this little ditch on the side of the road. It's like, how cool would it be if there were trout in that? And maybe not a cutthroat, but a really gorgeous brookie. Crush that dry fly in this tiny little creek. Love it. Well, that does it for Utah. Got 3 cutthroat out of this amazing state. Got our Bear Lake cutthroat, got our Bonneville cutthroat, and just got our Colorado cutthroat. And I was way up in those mountains over there, and it's pretty amazing how much the landscape can change in just a 40-minute drive, where I'm in the desert right now, and up there I was in a lush high alpine valley. But I want to say, loved Utah, and now it's on to Colorado.
I spent the night at a rest stop somewhere near the border between Utah and Colorado, and woke up early to embark on a long drive. The cutthroat of focus in Colorado was none other than the recently rediscovered Greenback Cutthroat Trout. Yet, with my best attempt to not bore you with repetitive issues, my truck broke down again. This time, needing far more than the basic on-the-road DIY fixing I was able to do before. After spending most of the day in a mechanic's waiting room, I drove the short distance to my original fishing destination. With only a few hours of daylight, I hiked the trail as fast as I could, and wound up on a stream that was way too cold and blown out to fish. Now, any locals to the area I was in would have probably been like, well, duh. But, to me, these conditions came as a shock. With another unexpectedly rushed day, I had my first day of the trip where I was unable to add a new cutthroat to my list.
Well, I'm starting to lose some hope. I'm gonna be honest with you.
But that wasn't it for me for Greenback Cutthroat. Luckily, catching 2 subspecies of cutthroat in Utah in one day gave me a tiny bit of flexibility. So that night, I drove 2.5 hours north of my planned route and wound up on a trailhead to a lake where I would have one last chance to catch my greenback cutthroat trout.
So today is my last chance to catch a greenback cutthroat. I'm at the trailhead putting together a backpack right now. I drove 2.5 hours north from where I was at before, and I'm at a completely different area. Wasn't able to get it yesterday. We can't get it today. We're gonna have to move on without our greenback cutthroat from this trip, which would be disappointing, but we've given it a good go. There's supposedly some at the end of this trail. It's gonna be a long hike. I'm gonna have to get in, catch a fish, get out as fast as possible so I can continue this journey and try and catch the rest of the fish. But we're gonna give it our best go. You know, nothing ever works to plan sometimes. Sometimes you gotta adapt. Well, after about 7 miles and 4,000 feet of elevation gain, we finally made it to the lake. I'm pretty exhausted, but this place is just absolutely stunning. I already saw a few fish cruising the flats. It makes me super optimistic. I saw some fish in the creek when I was coming up too. They all look like cutthroat. So I think we're gonna have a good chance of pulling our first, at least my first, greenback cutthroat ever out of this lake and get our 6th fish of the trip. First, I'm gonna eat my peanut butter and jelly tortilla. There we go. You're out. Cold, 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 cold. Yeah. Woo. Oh my goodness. First greenback cutthroat trout of my life. How incredible. Guys, check it out. Oh my goodness, it's gorgeous. Look at that beautiful fish. First greenback cutthroat. And cutthroat number 6. Well, I don't think I've ever been happier to catch a cutthroat than that one. Holy smokes. It made me work a little hard, but we got our greenback cutthroat, and holy smokes are they gorgeous. That's my first time ever seeing one in person.
And just like that, the possibility of completing this challenge returned. Despite making my future plans a lot tighter than I initially hoped, I had caught a greenback cutthroat trout.
Greenback cutthroat were thought to be extinct for close to 100 years until just recently in 2012 they were rediscovered in an area that was believed to be stocked in the 1800s, and those fish were then transplanted across the state of Colorado to restock in an effort to reintroduce greenback cutthroat to their native range. And it truly is a privilege to be able to fish for them. Well, we got our greenback. I was not thinking it was gonna happen. I was a little discouraged yesterday. Got up here today, I was like, man, that's a long hike. I don't know if I should do it. I don't know if it'll fit in the 10-day scheme, but I went for it and I was not disappointed. It is just absolutely stunning up here. The snow, the mountains, the water, it's all just gorgeous, and let alone the fish. Those greenbacks are some of the prettiest fish I've ever laid my eyes upon. But that was it for Colorado. Next stop on the list, New Mexico. We are on a very special creek that holds an even more special fish. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we finally made it to our final location of this 10-day cutthroat trip.